Mace, why don't you tell us who your manager of the season is?
Without question, without doubt, Des Buckingham. No issue, no qualms. Anyone who says it's not him is mental and they're crazy, because at the end of the day, when you win the league, you win the league. It's as simple as that, and that means you're the best. So he is the best manager. That run of 18 games unbeaten, at the end of the day, the last couple of games, he gave the kids the opportunity to play and the ability to play. But the one thing I like about Des is that Des turned around last year, and I've had chats with him during the off-season, and he said it wasn't my team. So he's managed to get his team together this season. He's put them all together. Boy, oh boy, what a mix. 18 games unbeaten, longest winning streak. And you're winding me up saying, you're laughing, saying that he's not the manager of the season. He's the manager of the season by a country mile, man. And he's gone on to win the Shield, and fair play to him. That's why there's only one choice for me.
Mace, we have two other gentlemen over here who I know for a fact haven't picked Des Buckingham as their manager of the season. So I'm going to go to Shaiju next.
Hold on. Are we going to guess what Shaiju thinks?
I want Shaiju to tell us why he didn't pick Des Buckingham before you tell us who you picked. So why not Des Buckingham, Shaiju? And then why do you pick who you picked?
The point which I didn't pick Des is only personal, truly personal, no technical, no nothing. See, we all know 18 matches unbeaten and the winner of the league, everything he did, great things. Because last season, remember, Mumbai City FC was not qualified for the playoffs. So every point was there to pick Des Buckingham as the manager of the season. But even Suyash, you know, in the Mahabharata, epic Mahabharata, every episode is personal. Even in the Mahabharata, every episode is personal. Every incident is has a personal background, even in Mahabharata. So it is truly personal for me. My manager is Ivan Vukomanovic, Kerala Blasters FC. Why? Because since the moment he arrived in India as the coach of KBFC, he was my coach, my favorite coach. The things he did with Kerala Blasters in the season also was very impressive for me, because for the successive 2 seasons, straight away 2 seasons, continuous 2 seasons, Kerala Blasters qualified for the playoffs. So even though his team had to bow out from the competition on a very unfortunate circumstance, but unfortunate instance we all know. But it is true. It was truly disappointing what's happened. But yet me and the fans still believe in Ivan Vukomanovic. The aura, I repeat, the aura which Ivan Vukomanovic created in Indian football and Hero Indian Super League within such a short span of time that no other manager can claim in ISL. I mean the aura, not the stat pack. The aura which Ivan created, no other manager can claim. So for me, it is Ivan Vukomanovic, my manager.
All right, Shaiju, I don't think you can be any more emphatic than that. I just have one question for you. In this entire thing, is there a sense among followers of Kerala Blasters about what could have been? What could have been if, and you picked Ivan Vukomanovic as your manager of the season. Do you think the case would have been strengthened had for any circumstance that game would have gone on, and probably Kerala Blasters may have then, gone on to reach a higher pedestal than what they did this season? Do you think they managed to reach their potential?
I still believe they could have played that full time. Still 24 minutes left. When they were walking off from that field, still 24 minutes left in that extra time. I still believe Kerala Blasters they could have easily won that match, because at that time, from the 70th minute of the second half, Bengaluru was on back foot. So everything, see, these all are means everything we witnessed. So my belief, you asked me a question, and my answer is they could have played the entire 24 minutes. The rest means the 24 minutes left in the extra time. They could have played the full time in the extra time.
Pulasta, I want to come to you on the point Shaiju made about the aura created by Ivan Vukomanovic. Do you agree with him over there in the sense that there are very few managers in the league, if anyone at all, who can have such a big connection between the team and the fans, and him just being the bridge between the two?
100%. Without a doubt. Which is why a lot of us were disappointed. Because the aura that he's created, it deserved an ending this season. It deserved an ending which was not a what if. It deserved a full stop, and we've been left at a semicolon in a sentence that will never be finished. And that is the only regret. I wish I could sit here and say Ivan Vukomanovic, 100%, because of the conversations we've had, because of the way he's built the Kerala Blasters and the fandom or the fiefdom now that Kochi is for him. And that's why there is a little bit of disappointment, a little bit of sour taste. That said, I agree with Mace as well when he says Des Buckingham. The only reason I've gone with Simon Grayson, as the manager of the season, is because I do believe Des Buckingham had a lot going for him in terms of how the club is run. It's ultra professional, ultra smooth, and everything is so well structured. That is not to take away from Des, but I went with Grayson simply because it takes a lot of courage to drop a legend of the country and stick to his guns. And Sunil's interview, even before the final, where he said, I've had conversations with Simon Grayson and I don't like sitting out, but it takes so much to say, no, captain, I'm going to go with Shiva Shakti. You need a manager once in a while who comes out and says, I'm going to play this young guy. You need it for the betterment of the club, for the betterment of the country's football in this case. And he fell upon a formula, and the way he turned it around is stunning. They were playing tournament football. Suddenly they started believing, let me make a plan for the next 10 games and to go all the way to the final and fall. But it is a story unlike any other. With Des Buckingham, you could see it coming with Mumbai City. You could see that it is coming. With Bengaluru, you never saw it coming. And I think Grayson has a massive, massive role to play in the story that the Hero ISL was. The narrative, the context of this season is Bengaluru's comeback. And the provider and the writer of that story is Simon Grayson.
Mace, you agree with Pulla over there?
I just want to know what he means when he turns around and says that Mumbai City have it all there behind. Are you saying that Bengaluru aren't a serious club, that they're not there? I mean, they've won this before. They're getting the backing. They back their managers. They don't sack managers. You know that. And the way that they've done that. So that kind of...
No. The question makes...
That just makes me want to understand a little bit more about what you're saying.
Yeah. So there was a point when we were sitting here on the LFL and we were questioning, there was news going out, is Manolo Marquez has been offered that job, or some other manager has been offered that job. We had Albert Roca come in. We had Darren Caldera go in. There were changes in the back room, which means the club was at a point of transition, and Grayson could have sat back and said, hey, the club is in transition. Okay, things are changing.
So what about the Durand Cup win? You know, they win the Durand Cup, and everybody backs Grayson from day one. It was just they had an awful start to the season, which they did.
Yeah.
Everyone will admit that. And I totally agree with what you're saying about that turnaround. You know, it was that game, and all of a sudden, bang, everything exploded, and they just went from strength to strength. But I think you had been a little bit disconcerting towards Bengaluru earlier by saying, Mumbai have this. I could see it coming with Des at the beginning of the season because of this team. And I think that Simon's worked hard behind the scenes with everybody there, with Partindal, with now Rock who's come in and Darren who's come in. But he was having to, and he was doing that earlier on in the season as well. And I just think that you were doing a little bit of a disservice to the club, if I'm being honest.
No, I don't think so, because clubs go through transitions, and in transitions, it is easy to go into a shell and make an excuse of it. It is easy to go into a shell and say, we are 10th, there is no hope. But to reignite a club like that, it was almost like a rebirth. Nobody expected it. And I keep saying, I'm not taking anything away from Des. I'm not taking anything away from Bengaluru. They are a club used to success, but we haven't seen them over 4 years win a tournament. Yes, the Durand Cup is a success, but the Durand Cup is not the Hero ISL. And all respect to the Durand Cup, the Hero ISL is a different ballgame entirely. And to make it into that top 4, not even the top 6, and to go into, have that moment against Kerala Blasters.
The eliminator.
They could have switched off and said, oh my God, you can get carried away in that momentum. Did they get carried away? No. And there are a lot of big players in that team, and the team is going through a change. And to bring in Rohit like that, nothing taken away from Des. But I do believe that what Simon Grayson did is a rarity in football. And just for that reason, it would be easy to give it to Des. And he deserves it, manager of the season. But I also think, because I think for me Grayson is the biggest story. Grayson is the biggest story for me.